Blades fans, subscribe to Blades Ramble. Up the Blades.
What is happening, Blades? And welcome back to the Blades Ramble. I'm in a very good mood, as I'm sure a lot of you are. Unbelievable day for Sheffield United, and that is not an overstatement. Look, we have suffered for a long, long time, and today feels like we're just starting to really. We've made some decent signings so far. Maybe slightly underwhelming to some, but Jamie Shackleton and Sam McCallum are very good squad players at a good age. But today, did we step it up a level? Or what? We are proudly sponsored by Action Coach Sheffield and VMB Autos. I thank them both for their continued support of the channel. I am, of course, Jimmy, and thank you for tuning into the Blades Ramble tonight. It's supposed to be my night off. Yes, I've had an haircut, which is a bit extreme. I've got to that age where I can't hide the greys now at the side, so I go as short as I possibly can, and it's just, there's no hiding it. I'm 40. Yeah. Beard's gone because it were one of them days. I were just about in bed. I'd heard the rumors, same as everybody else. Got a little bit in front of it, but not by much. We've signed the big Welsh beast, Kiefer Moore. Now, some would say that's a direct replacement for McBurney. I'd argue that. This is no slight on McBurney, but I think Moore is a better or more effective player for what we need if you're looking at a target man, particularly if you're looking at going one up front, which we sort of teased at the weekend against York. I think Kiefer Moore is your more traditional target man that holds the ball up really well. Great in the air, fantastic results in the air. I watched Ben HD today, who does transfer rumours in the Championship, and he puts a video out every 3 or 4 days, and he's really good. Really enjoy his stuff. If he wants to come on for Preston preview, he knows where to find me. But he was saying he scored something like 7 in 18 appearances for Ipswich, and if he were to repeat that across the full season for Sheffield United, if he played every game, he'd score 25 goals. What more do you need? Nobody expects him to do that, but what more do you need? So, not only are we bringing in Kiefer Moore, a striker who scores goals at this level, very effective, a heavy investment in somebody that's 31 years old, giving him a 3-year contract on good wages. We paid a decent fee for him as well. It's a huge investment by the current board, which cannot be overestimated or forgotten about, because they get an awful lot of stick. Prince Abdullah particularly. Stephen Bettis takes an awful lot of flack, and I think a lot of it is because people don't really understand what he does. But I'm assured everybody that I've spoken to about Stephen Bettis, whether it's been behind the scenes or openly about their dealings with him, has glowing things to say about him in terms of we're lucky to have him to a large degree. We don't know much else, And then not only do we bring in a much needed striker after losing big names like Ollie McBurney in the summer, and obviously Cameron Archer, someone close to my heart, who I still think will come good. And if we could get him at this level, that'd be unreal. But I'm happy with Big Keith. We've just had it announced now, just as I were going to bed, I think I'll have a night off the Ramble, actually. I've been very active in some chats like I always am, and try and keep people informed with little bits that aren't going to damage the club. That's always the priority. Whatever information you have, when you're slightly in the know, whether it's Darren Smith or Sheffield United Way Boys or myself, or whoever gets to know little snippets, knowledge is power. And what you've got to think in the bigger picture of things is, does this damage our club by getting this information out there? It's not worth the extra clicks or the extra subscriptions or whatever it might be to damage losing Callum O'Hare or whatever it might be. Callum O'Hare has now joined us. Callum O'Hare, who was linked with the Premier League, it was a free transfer. in name, free transfer. There's no such thing as a free transfer, to be honest. This is a very expensive deal because we don't have to pay a transfer fee. The cards were in the players' court. They could say, I know you'd have to pay, say, £10 million to sign me. So if I get several offers because there's no transfer fee involved, I can charge a much higher sign-on fee. So there's no such thing as a free transfer. And this is a very expensive deal that Sheffield United have pushed to get. And this has been a long-term target of Sheffield United. And we've got him. We've got him. There were other clubs that bid more money, from what I understand. This is from an outside source to club, but from what I believe and what I'm being told is there were clubs that bid more money and offered O'Hare more money. But because we'd shown the commitment and the dedication and the desire to have him as part of our project, he was already a little bit down the line with us and chose to come to Sheffield United. And that's what it's about. It's about players that want to be here. And he is a top championship player. And what my dad always used to say when he was scouting for this level and then trying to progress and even picking players, because my dad spent a lot of his time scouting in the Premier League, he would look at the championship and say, and he can't really do it as much nowadays because the prices are so inflated and everybody knows about it with the data and stuff. But you used to always try and cherry pick the best of the championship. Well, this kid, Callum O'Hare, is the best of the championship, one of the best in the championship. So he's ideal to not only help us with what we hope will be a promotion push, but if all goes well, he's one of those players that you can test at a higher level and see where his ceiling is. We are certainly going to make our money back on Callum O'Hare, whatever happens, whether that's through promotion and bonuses and us enjoying success as a club, or if it's him performing well for United. Maybe we fall short, let's hope not, but we will get a good, sizable transfer fee. We've bought a really strong asset there, and it's really exciting. Those are two really exciting signings that go into our first 11. There's still a lot of work to do as part of the rebuild, but I want to try and enjoy tonight and enjoy the Kiefer Moore on a 3-year deal. Yes, he's 31, but that probably sees him to the end of certainly his prime. Callum O'Hare on a 4-year deal, likely, knowing Sheffield United, I've not had this confirmed, but it usually contains a +1 in the club's favour. So potentially, is he 26, takes him to 31 with us. Again, his prime years as a Sheffield United player, hopefully. And if not, peak value, which is all you need. But I'm not the best one to talk about this. We're talking about players that can potentially make it to the Premier League. So what I need is a Premier League scout to come and give me his opinion. Andy the Blade.
Hiya, Jimmy. All right.
Good evening, Father. How are you?
Good evening. Good evening. Bloody hell, I've been like everybody.
Hoarse.
No, well, I've just come back from Ireland and I've just been in Limerick on a lads trip. So
I didn't know if you've been singing your Kiefer Moore song around kitchen.
No, but I've been reading the Rambles, but like everybody else. Bloody hell. What a day. I'll tell you what, though, I saw it coming today. I mean, you just had to be patient, really, didn't you? And you could see through talking to you, and obviously you'd shared most things, with everyone. Better just slamp door upstairs. That means we're talking too loud. Anyway, but through talking to you and what have you, we knew that all these things were going on in the background. So
we knew that things were happening, didn't we? We knew that. I think the privileged position that I find myself is, we can at least, if we're not going to share specifics, you can at least calm people down to let them know that things are happening in background. And that's sometimes helps, doesn't it? And then when stuff like this comes in, it sort of reaffirms what you've said. So it works for everybody, I think. So
yeah, I mean, really, you're right. I was just listening to you about. I mean, I'm not going to go hark back on my days of old when I was scouting, but O'Hare is just exactly. When I was at Everton, he was exactly the type of player that I was looking for. You know, the best of the Championship, who you think could step up and prove it. You know, because we would buy at the time. We bought Jagielka and we bought Tim Cahill, and we bought Jolyon Lescott and Leighton Baines and all players like these, John Stones, all players from the Championship who went on to have great careers in the Premiership. So that was part of my job, well, a massive part of my job to do that. So, and O'Hare, I think when I first started looking at O'Hare was, well, quite a few years ago. I mean, we picked him up on the first season. I think we were talking about him when he came to the Lane the first time when he got injured.
Yeah, we were.
I rated him as good if not better than Hamer out of the two. But then he obviously got this bad injury. So obviously we've got to. It looks as though he's come back okay from that, and he's passed his medical. So yeah, so everything looks hunky dory as far as O'Hare goes. The
only thing I would say, Dad, is where does he fit?
Well,
where does he fit? Because there's a couple of things.
I've told you this before. You've nicked this off me because I said this to you early on.
I don't remember these things. We've got Vinny Souza that we will play. Whether we rate him or not, we will play Vinny Souza because we've invested significantly in it. He may go before window, but if he stays, Vinny Souza's in team. Hamer and Blaster are clearly in the team. You've now put in O'Hare in the team because you're going to put him in. I think probably O'Hare plays in the 10, which pushes Gus further back behind.
Which we don't like.
You what?
Which we don't
you don't
like.
Pushing Gus back, do you? I know.
No,
you want Gus further up. I know. No. I do. I know. What do you do then? What do you do? I know you. Well, you drop Vinny, don't you? But
you do. You do, Jim. But I said this right when we were both astounded, really, when we saw that O'Hare would look to be a likely thing, and we're thinking, what a great signing. But it's a little bit for me like McAtee last year, whereas Doyle wasn't as good a player as McAtee, but he would have fitted our side a lot better than McAtee did because you can't just have. I mean, we've got Hamer, who's obviously very talented and likes to go forward, or we like him to go forward. We've got our Blaster who can do a bit of all sorts, but I thought we needed a workhorse in there to
Matt Grimes.
Yeah, well, Lewis O'Brien I had in mind.
Yeah, Lewis O'Brien.
To work in there. So that's why I didn't see where O'Hare fits. But when you've got such good players, you've got to fit him in somewhere. So I'm sure Wilder's got an idea whether we play him wide. We might play Kiefer more up the middle and play two wide, not wide men, but sort of like
supporting strikers, sort of supporting forwards, inside forwards.
Yeah. So he could play like that. I'll tell you one little fact I didn't know about O'Hare. Some of the older end will probably know it, will remember this, but his dad's John O'Hare. John O'Hare was a great footballer for Derby County probably just a little bit before my time, but like in the Brian Clough years and stuff like that at Derby. Really
before your time?
Well, I remember John O'Hare, but it was like right in the earlier years. Well, just get yourself stuff. There's some people older than me, Well, we're at it anyway.
I'm 10 years older. I'm 15 years older than Callum O'Hare, and you're saying his dad played before your time.
Well, do you remember John O'Hare?
No, do I? Heck, no. Never heard of him.
Well, there you go then. He'll have played with John McGovern.
Sure he weren't his granddad?
Shut up, no. It's John O'Hare. I'm sure it's his dad. Anyway, a really good player. And I do like it when the families are sort of like a sporting family. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Good genes and sort of like they're brought up in the right way. And his sister's a champion Irish dancer.
Always good in it. It's a good pedigree, that, isn't it? Good
pedigree. Like the Nevilles.
Like the Nevilles, like the Greys at Leeds, unfortunately.
Absolutely, yeah. It does. It's not always be all and end all, because obviously I were a good footballer and you weren't. But so it's like it doesn't always follow on.
Right, moving on. Dad, I know that obviously O'Hare for me is sort of the headline because he's the flair player that excites everybody. but I know you will be most excited about Big Keith up front.
If you go back to your early teams that we did
in January, I think.
In January,
were it in January
last
year? Were it January in transfer window? But that's the first time you mentioned him on stream. You've been talking about Kiefer Moore for ages, to be fair.
I'm talking about Kiefer Moore before he went to Ipswich last year.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, you have.
So I do really like him. I mean, he is 31. He's been had a bit of a journeyman career because he's been to loads of clubs, but he's always done all right. And I think I do like his work ethic. You know, he attacks the ball. He always shows for it. I thought it was just what we needed last year. You know, and occasionally he'll score a goal, which is I didn't know centre forwards did that.
It's only expensive ones that don't. Oh, Dad, yeah. I've missed having you on. This is the first time we've properly caught up in it as well. So,
yeah. Well, you're always busy, bloody hell. You've been on Ramble every single day.
I thought we were having a night off tonight, and then bloody hell.
You know, I know that I keep getting elbowed for Prince, so I can't talk to you tonight. I'm seeing Prince. I've got a FaceTime. With Prince.
That's not true. Mark starts off tonight.
Just off to Dubai. I'm making that up.
Yes, you are. Yeah, thanks very much. 2 great signings. Now let's go get a keeper, wing backs, and a monster centre back. You don't want much, do you, Mark? Bloody hell. We do need, to be fair.
You've got to take it. You've got to take it steady a little bit. You can't just bring in all. But we do. We do need all them.
We do. I was just going to say. Yeah, I mean, it's one thing as saying you jumping gun a little bit and try and enjoy tonight, but and we will. These 2 signings are great, and you can't just say right there, done, bank them. Now what? What's next? Come on, we need. But there is so many positions to fill. We can't forget as well. There's 5 loan spots we can use.
I know.
So if we think we need a keeper, and listen, I'd love for us to get Mike Cooper. I've been banging on about that for ages. But if we can't get a permanent keeper, then there's Rushworth available on loan that we've been talking about for ages. There's a few that you can get from the Premier League that'll do a really good job. Look at what Henderson did for us. He weren't ours, and yes, later on you have to worry about that maybe. But let's get to Premier League before we have to worry about a permanent keeper. Then, if that has to be the case.
Have I read somewhere that Palace are after another keeper because they've got Henderson, haven't they?
Palace
and they've got Johnson as well. And aren't they after another one as well?
I know. Talk about greedy for brilliant keepers. So they are in the Mike Cooper race, apparently. Plymouth
so
keeper.
There must be a keeper available there. And they're all those 3 keepers you'd have probably. I mean, you would.
Maybe goes to Palace permanent and we get him on loan. Or, from what I've heard, is they're trying to ship Sam Johnston out.
Yeah. So, it won't be Henderson.
Dean Henderson's better, isn't he?
Henderson's great. I'd love him back, but it's not going to happen.
That were your answer to the last question, weren't it?
It was.
Oh,
when somebody put me on the spot.
Yeah, can't remember it was now, but it was if money were no object, or would you sign?
It was somebody from abroad. It was somebody from abroad who asked me.
Yeah, it was. Sorry, I forget your name, but anyway, Dad, with so many comments, so I'm going to rush through them. Let's go. Jimmy says, "Right, at this point, I don't care. The takeover fails and the Prince stays. Decent centre back and goalkeeper, and I think we'll be a very, very competitive. How one signing can change the mood. Absolutely right, pal. Evening, Jimmy. Oh, what happened today? What a day to be a Blade. Well said, Ian. Well said, mate. Kev says, Buckland available from Rangers. Jack Buckland, I'm not a massive fan. Might be out of our price range. All we need is Burrows plus a keeper. Right. Burrows, I'm not going to spend too long on each comment because there's loads to get through on it. And I've just asked my dad to come on with 10 minutes notice. So I don't want to keep him. He's packing because you're going away again, aren't you? So,
only for a couple of days.
Butland. Yeah, Butland, I'm not a fan of. I don't know what your thoughts are on him. But
I think he's all right. Obviously, has he been playing regular for Rangers?
Yeah, I think so. Fairly regular. Yeah. I'm not against it. Don't get me wrong, but the one I wanted to focus on was Burrows because Harrison Burrows I love, and I think he could be a really, really good player for us. I don't think it's likely until at least the takeover's completed. And if the takeover's not completed in the short term, do we need to spend £3 million or whatever it's going to be on a left wing back or a left back? Because we've now got Reece Norrington-Davies, hopefully, all being well. Stan McCallum. Is there anybody else? No, that's it now, isn't it, I think? I mean, Austin Trusty can play there. Robinson at a push. So
the thing is, Harrison Burrows could be our left wing back for the next 5-6 years. To be honest, he's a great signing.
I agree,
but I don't really know if we could do. The thing is, I'm not sure whether we'll get him or not. Is because I want to sign McCallum if R&D is going to be fair. And although you could say R&D they might be looking to play him left centre back, and then we've just got McCallum and Burrows, which might be okay.
Yeah, maybe we're just chancing it with Reece.
Yeah, and then we've got a left centre back though. We'll have R&D, Trusty, and Jack Robinson.
Yeah, so Reece Norrington-Davies then to start for me.
Yeah, well, yeah. So yeah.
Sonny says, Jimmy, we are so back up the Ramble, up the Blades, getting your beauty. Love that. Evening, Jimmy. I have to say I'm pleased with these two signings. Hopefully more to come. Up the Ramble, up the Blades. Like and subscribe. Lucas says, wow, a treble in one night. 2 incredible signings and a Ramble. Someone pinch me. Nice. Thanks, Lucas. Appreciate that, pal. Dave Leary, Dave the Nose Leary. Let's go, Blades. Let's go. Is that a Dillian White? Let's go, baby. Let's go. Love that. The feel good factor is coming back. Oh, how we have deserved it. 25 days to go. Is that all it is? Up the Blades, up the Ramble, like and subscribe. That seems very close. That takeover can't be far off now. That's 2 really expensive signings. Always thought stay chilled. Wilder's not kicked off once, and he would if he wasn't sure we're on the right track. That's fair, Dean. I have it on good authority that Mr. Wilder's mellowed slightly. I think he probably understands that he's in. To say he's lucky to be in his position is unfair. I don't mean it in that respect, but he has. I suppose he hasn't got the same momentum and the same leverage that he's had in years gone by. I think he probably still thinks he's got a big point to prove. And I think it suits him. It suits him, this. And particularly if he's happy with some of the signings that he's been told he can get, I have every faith that Chris Wilder's the man to take us forward. I know you're on the Wilder train as well. There's a slight bias with you, isn't there? Because I know you know him quite loosely, don't you? But it's one of them that huge fans of Wilder. Yeah, no? You agree?
Oh, yeah, but I thought you were talking to.
It just shows you don't listen to me. I'd said to you, we're huge fans of Wilder.
I thought you were talking to Ramblers. yeah. Of course, we're huge fans, and him being my best buddy, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right.
He has mellowed. And he has had to really sort of like settle in a little bit and realise that, he can't just walk into another job after this. So he probably has to bite his tongue a little bit, and I think he probably has done. But I think that whoever just called in then is right. He would have kicked off more because he does have his pride, And
he does.
And if things hadn't been right, he would have, made a stance about it. So I'm sure that, things have been said behind the scenes that he were okay with. A bit like the Prince has said to you in the past. I know he said a few things, but and also what you've been saying all along in the fact that, look, it's all there, it's all happening in the background. It's just you got to wait because we don't know which way it's going to go. But it's
just the process, isn't it? Yeah, there's plans for whatever happens, so it's not like
just the process. Just the process didn't work last year, though, did it?
No, not Ecky's process.
Yeah, well, that's what the thing was, though. I want it trust.
I know, I'm not on about Ecky's process. No, but in terms of like the O'Hare thing has been in the works for weeks and weeks, so it's something that is well planned rather than just. It's not like a snapshot thing. Oh well, we're struggling, we're scrambling, and we're desperate for a player. Go get him because he's good, and we'll splash a load of cash. I think we did that with Brewster. I think we did that. When we spent that big check on Ryan Brewster, we were desperate for a striker, and we gambled.
And McBurney was the same. Weren't we going to Neil Maupay first?
Yeah, that's right. Speaking of it, would you re-sign McBurney, Dad?
obviously, you know, I think about McBurney, but I am torn because I think it's such a waste that because no matter what anybody thinks of McBurney, like him, loathe him, or whatever, he's worth some money. And people, I would have thought, although having said that, I would have thought he's probably worth between 3 and 5 million as a championship striker. So to let him go for nothing is obviously a faux pas for Sheffield United. But who signed him? There's been loads of clubs coming in to sign him.
That's the thing, isn't it?
That's nothing.
It depends what his going rate is, doesn't it? It depends because
you know. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say, if we sign him, you know, on 30 grand a week, for example, and he doesn't do the business or he gets injured and we want to sell him in January or in summer, because that's why we've gambled and brought him back, because there's value there. So if he's not going to, nobody's going to buy him and pay him £30 million, 30 grand a week. So
he's not going to go. So we'll stick with him again. So I mean, but he would have signed with some sort of deal on a low wage and maybe some, you know, injury clauses in or something like that.
Fair enough. Appearance related.
Yeah, because you know it does have value. It does have value. Shall we leave it at that?
Yeah. Okay. Even Jimmy says, Rich,
I'm going into no rants today. Well,
no, it's not an evening for rants, is it?
No,
not an evening for rants.
Good move.
Yeah, it's a good one. Just before your little jaunt away as well. That's nice, isn't it?
I know, yeah. I've just been in Ireland with well, they're all Huddersfield fans, Leeds fans. The two Leeds fans I was talking to him about O'Hare. You've no chance of getting O'Hare. He's coming to Leeds. He's coming to Leeds, is O'Hare. We're in for him.
Why would he sign for Sheffield United when he could sign for the Mighty Whites?
That's exactly. I've just put it on our group.
Not put it AJ by any chance?
No, it was Tim Long.
All right.
Tim Long.
Called him out on stream as well. Called him out. Wow. It's all right. There's only 477 people here. Please like and subscribe. Evening, Jimmy. To accommodate the players, we're signing the formation has got to be 4-2-3-1. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Do you think it comes with a formation change then, Dad?
Yep, I do. I think that sounds about right, to be honest. 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, I agree. So there'd be a 10 in the middle of the three, and probably narrow, unless you're signing wingers, narrow wide forwards.
I'd have to have a good thinking about this, but I mean, obviously, it'd be Kiefer Moore up top. You'd have Hamer and O'Hare in the three behind. You'd probably have Arblaster in the two. I would have thought a defensive two. So you need to get some more in as well, obviously.
So it'd be Vinny and Arblaster as your two.
Nah, Vinny's going to go.
Yeah, I think he might, but he's not yet, has he? Coming together nicely, but was getting a bit frustrated more than anything. Silence is the worst part, says Daz. Difficult. Steve Holmes, fantastic day. O'Hare signing a real coup. More to an established championship striker now, sort of right, centre half, and a goalkeeper. Rest will probably be loans. Bring on the new season. Well said, Steve.
Yeah.
Good business so far. Keep hammering. And Anel. I think that must have been a bit of predictive text in terms of Gus Hamer and Anel, and we've cracked it. Anel, Dad, where do you sit on Anel? Do you cash in on Anel, knowing that we've got a bit of a deficit to meet, or would you prefer to sell Sousa and, you know, see if we can get by with trying to keep Anel, really, if we can?
I'd sell Sousa and Anel, but especially with the amounts that they're talking about, you know, between 15 and 20 million for Anel, I'd definitely take that. And we could get, yeah, and then you could get a Worrell for sort of like 6 million or whatever. So I would, but I mean, I'd be quite, if we had to keep Anel, I'd be okay about it, because I think he's obviously played really well for us the first season in the Championship. But you don't really want players whose, you know, mind's going to
half an eye away.
Yeah. So, and this brings me on to the other thing, which is Bogle. And I cannot understand some fans. I do like Bogle. I think he's great going forward. I'm a bit shaky with his defending, but I do like him. But with the if we could get up to about 6 million for Leeds, I wouldn't sell him normally, but if he's not going to sign a contract, every single Blades fan you speak to says, bloody hell, let him Berger go for, wind his contract down. Elliman wind his contract down. All these players wind the contract down.
Yeah,
And
Egan's gone for no. McBurney's gone for no.
Gone for no. Disgraceful. We should never allow it to happen. Exactly as going to say happen to Bogle if we don't do anything about it. So you've got to say to him, look, if you don't sign a contract, we'll sell you. Otherwise, because otherwise he's going to go for nothing. So,
it's a really difficult decision, isn't it? Because we can only assume that he's refusing to sign a contract because we'd have done more than extend him by a year. He's our best right wing back now, or right back, whatever formation we're going to play. It's a real drop off, I think, to Shackleton and Curtis personally, and you can't really sign somebody for the amount that we're talking about to sell to Leeds. Like 7 million is what's been reported in the press. It's a good figure for somebody who's in the last year of the contract, but we can't replace him for me. So I can see both arguments to keeping him, but then you can't have your cake and eat it and say, well, we should have sold him, or we shouldn't have sold him, all that sort of thing, because I don't think the board can win on that one, to be honest. If we sell him now and we cash in, it's the smart business thing to do. But if we keep him and he goes for nothing, like you said, Dad, then it's poor business, and
everybody will be going mad again, won't they? Everybody will be going mad again. But the thing is, also we're taking into account is Bogle is. I think most people are agreed that he's very good going forward, but probably struggles defensively. If we're talking about going to a back four, there'll be more defensive responsibilities for him in a four.
Don't suit him, does it? Don't suit him that at all. What I would like, I think, best case scenario is we sell him. If he's not going to sign a deal, we sell him, get a decent chunk for him, and use that money on either funding a really strong loan replacement, or just chucking some money at a really decent right back, or an established right back.
I mean, we could do, because hopefully we've got Sam Curtis who's going to play there anyway. How did he play at?
All right, he got 45 minutes. We did 2 11s. I thought it looked okay, but it worked. First pre-season game into it's more a fitness run out than all else. But yeah, he did all right. Traore looked decent, I thought. Asula obviously did well for his goal. Yeah, there were a few that looked all right.
I think Shackleton is more of a cover for. I know he's played fullback, but I think he's more of a cover for midfield, really, rather than as a fullback.
But he's going to have to slot in at fullback, and if Bogle goes, he's going to have to.
No, I think we'll get somebody else. So I think we'll get somebody else. But
I hope so.
All the Leeds fans I were talking to when I were away, they were all saying, except for he's a little bit injury prone, Shackleton.
Brilliant.
They all like him. They all think he's a really nice player, good player, wholehearted, gets stuck in, runs about. Yeah,
it's good. Okay, good stuff. Good business so far. Oh yeah, we've read that one. Joe says a bit of patience works wonders. 2 unreal signings. That midfield, if we keep Hamer, could be the best this league has ever seen. More to be done, but still, with sales and a takeover, it's on big time. Jimmy, my stance on Wilder, but if he keeps pulling these kind of signings off, I'll have to congratulate him and become a fan. Wow, that's a big turn from Sean. 2 great signings this Sunday to get the fans back. Faith is restored. Love that. Kyle says, regretting.
As much as it is Wilder, though, Jim, as much as it is Wilder, is it Wilder who's doing all these sales? So obviously, he'll have an input, but I think more people are having input than just Wilder. I think it used to be all on Wilder, but I think more people's having an input now.
Yeah, probably. And he's being backed by the current board as well, like we've said, which you have to give him credit for as well. But yeah, he's got a team together now, Antia Recruitment. He'll have the final say into the sign-off will come from the top. But in terms of whether he wants them or not, Wilder will have the final say. But yeah, it's probably come from a bigger pool because he's got a team around him now, hasn't he? Regretting not renewing my season ticket, says Kyle. After that horrific season last year, 2 big signings, in my opinion, proven championship striker and an absolute baller in O'Hare. Must keep Hamer now. That's the key, isn't it? But that's not really in our control. If what we believe is right, there is got a release clause. It's something we can only hope rather than do anything about particularly. Evening, Jimmy. Says Bright and Prince Abdullah. Well, definitely going forward, we'll be a handful, but we have got to get a keeper and a right centre back in. Perhaps 3 or 4 more signings will do us, but we need that takeover to happen. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Poor Coventry fans, says Andy, must be getting fed up of us. Yeah, it's a signal that for them, innit? Bless. Never mind her. Said in an interview about Gus Hamer, asking him all week if it's done yet. The link-up impact they could have this season could be unbelievable. Couple more goals against the Wendy's, maybe. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. What it yourself, Dad, when we were talking about it? Because I was saying about the O'Hare-Hamer link. You don't think it's reached its potential yet, do you, for Cov? Is that still... I'm not saying you don't think it can work.
That won't me, Jim.
Won't it?
Must have been one of
your others. Somebody, and they were saying that 2 brilliant players clearly get on really well. They haven't quite hit the heights together, their potentials. I think you look at both players individually and you could say that they've got more to give. And they're the players you want in your side. It's not a grumble, is it, that people see more in them than they're actually giving? So
I think what I did say to you when we were chatting, Jim, was that we've all known about Hamer and O'Hare being great players at Coventry. But yet Coventry haven't done great. Them 2 have been playing together and they haven't done great, have they? You know, Coventry themselves. So they haven't lifted Coventry. No, O'Hare. Hamer had gone when they got to final this year, and O'Hare had just come back. And last year, who were missing were O'Hare. And
they did have Gyökeres as well, who played a small part with 20-odd goals, and then now goes to Sporting Lisbon and
still scoring. But that's what I'm saying. If you've got those 3 players and you're still not, up there in the top 2 or 3, you're thinking, have they put it together?
Yeah, well, we're relying on Hamer and O'Hare to be championship cheat codes, and Coventry had them for about 2 or 3 seasons, didn't they, I suppose, when you think about it that way?
Yeah.
Interesting. Scott says, evening, Jimmy, pal. What a Monday. Outstanding business and a real statement signings. A solid goalkeeper, Cooper, hopefully, and a centre-back, and we're a very good squad. I think squad's looking strong. I think we need a new goalkeeper, but it's not happening yet. Get 2 wingers who can get that ball on Moore's gorgeous head, and it's 100 points with 104 goal difference for the redemption of last season. I like O'Hare's arrogance. Going to be a smashing signing for us. I hadn't seen his interview yet. If he's been quite cocky in interview, I hadn't seen it because I've just jumped straight on, but I will be giving it a watch after. Ollie says, come on, Blades. England might not be able to bring it home, but we can. Up the Blades. Come on, you red and white wizards. Love that. S25 Blade says, patience pays off, hopefully. Now we have started. Get takeover sorted, sort defence and keep her out. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Love that. Nick Cook, thank you, pal. A £20 super chat. Thank you, mate. Evening, Jimmy. Some great announcements this evening. I'm looking forward to what we can do next season now. Like and subscribe. Thank you, pal. Really appreciate that. I'm really looking forward to it as well now. I think it's sort of jump-started everybody's pre-season, hasn't it, really? And got everybody in mood today. Really good. Really good. Jack says, this is the type of movement I was hoping for, and now I'm suddenly excited for the season. Let's go. Steve from Normal People Fitness Club says, from despair to euphoria. Hope people seeing how good we will be this season now. They heard it here first. Certainly did on the Ramble. Bean says, 2 great signings and a massive lift for the fan base. Hopefully the wheels are starting to turn now and we can get a few more in. Our midfield, Arblaster, Hamer and O'Hare looks scary in a good way. Surely McBurney is seeing who's coming in and wants to be a part of it. Can't see him getting a bigger club than us. Maybe bar Rangers. I agree. It's a head turner, isn't it, for not just for fans in terms of us getting excited, but other prospective targets will be looking and saying, oh, hey, they might have been useless last year in Premier League, but they mean business with this rebuild a little bit, because those 2 signings are unreal at this level.
Have you seen that Jordan Pickford clip on X?
Where it's...
I think EFL have put it on. EFL 92 or something like that put it on. Where it's like, it says something like Sheffield United transfers, and he's like... Ooh.
Yeah, I know, yeah. It's something like O'Hare and Kiefer Moore. And he's it's a wide-eyed look from Pickford, isn't it? Yeah, I know. Was waiting for you to jump online. Well, I'm here, mate. I wasn't gonna let Chris cook, says Ben. Fresh trim, yes, mate. Very fresh. Don't. Do you know, Rich? I don't even know why I read it out. I don't even know why I read it out because I've just opened the door to ridicule. Come in, ridicule. Come in. Anything to say, Dad, about this comment from Rich? While it's up,
Jim, you don't have to say anything with an haircut like that. No comments are necessary.
Unbelievable. New signings, new trim. Yeah. About time. What took you so long? All right, Bonnie lad. This is Davy. This is a Newcastle fan that's jumped on the Ramble train after last season. I think he must pity me after that 8-0, to be honest. But thanks for joining us, pal. Pain from yesterday's game is slowly fading. Absolutely, it is, Luke. Club over country for us, I'm afraid. It's always been that way. And a kit would be nice. Oh, come on. On a day like today. It's all going rather well, Jimmy lad, says Tim. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. What a signing, says Sam. What position do you think will be next? Got to be a keeper for me. Hopefully Cooper. It's got to be a keeper, surely. I mean, thing is, I think we've got to sell Gerbich or have strong interest in Gerbich before we start. It's largely rumoured that we won't spend it, or Darren certainly said this online. The only fees we will pay going forward at the minute are if we bring money in. So if Anel goes for 15, then yeah, we can bring Joe Worrell in, no problem, for example. I don't think we'll sign a permanent goalkeeper like Michael Cooper unless Gerbich goes. I think we've more chance of bringing a lone keeper in to compete with Gerbich, which you'd like to think would be an upgrade. But it's got to be a keeper, hasn't it?
Somebody from Ossett under 16s.
He looks decent, that young lad. Can't believe it, Jimmy. Are we dreaming, pal? We might be, Liam. We're not dreaming, it's real. Trust me, imagine O'Hare, Gus and Ollie and me. I trust you, Jack. I trust you. We all think the same, mate. John, action coach, Sheffield, top man. Takeover must be close. Or one of the big earners must be on their way out. O'Hare and Moore won't be cheap. They're not cheap, pal. They're not cheap. But you've got to think, how much have we clawed back into the club in terms of the overall spends on wages? You've got to think amount that Egan and Baldock and Norwood and McBurney were all on. That's all back in pot now. That's all back in the spend. And I know we've got to save some money and we've got to sort of cut our cloth accordingly, and we're trying to be self-sustainable, but we can carry a deficit if need be, if the current board or future board deem it to be a reasonable risk. I don't think it necessarily means people are on their way out just because we brought these signings in. I just think we're probably going to work with a smaller squad, which suits us so long as players can stay fit. What the flip is going on, says Brad. Not used to good Blades news. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Nige says quality signings so far today have been the best by far, and on freeze. Kiefer Moore's not free, pal. Certainly not free. Did you get the Universal Soldier look haircut, pal? Unbelievable, Nigel. Unbelievable. Cooper is agreed as well, apparently, says Ben. Don't know where you've seen that, pal, but yeah, let us know your source and we'll check it out. Keeper next, maybe. Up the flipping Blades, up the Ramble, says Tommy. Good evening, fellow Blades. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Love a bit of this. Benny, who's reporting that? Luke, straight on it. Who's reporting it? How do, Jimmy? Hamer, Blaster, O'Hare, Watt on midfield, and more up top. Doing more to come. Dang with more to come. Dang. Hot dang. That must be one of them. Front American owners coming in. Although free, they will be on the same wages with 3 to 4 year contracts. Kiefer Moore is not free. It's undisclosed. We've not revealed the amount that we've paid, but I can assure you we've paid a sizable fee for Kiefer Moore. Cole Foxton says, I've been telling myself, don't get excited over 1 or 2 transfers, or we need a total new squad. But looking at us now, I'm getting excited. We're looking very good now. Cooper, Ollie Mack, Kipre, and wow. Kipre is not a bad shout. I know we talked about him on our freebies list for a centre half to come in as cover. Some geezer on Facebook. All right, that's On the inside, but always right. That geezer from Facebook is always right. Fair dues. It's wherever you get your sources, but I'm not reporting that it's a done deal. Blades are going up. The blades are going up, says Brett. We love it. Do you think we keep Gus now, Jimmy, or does he get sold? Excuse me. I think we'll do everything we can to keep Gus and our blaster. They are the jewels in the crown that I think everybody recognises, from fans to staff to the board. Sometimes you cannot. There's some things that you can't refuse. Gus, we believe, has got a release clause, and if that's met, there's nothing we can do to stop him talking to the club that meets it. But by the same token, if somebody comes in and slaps 25 million down for Ollie Arblaster now, after he's had 12 games in Premier League, you can't just walk away and say, no, sorry, we're not doing a deal at any price. Particularly if there's like a sell on, and also for the player, look, he's a boyhood blade. But if it's a Man United or somebody like that comes in, you can't stop a kid from doing that, can you, Daz?
No, you can't. That would definitely happen. If they put 25 million, they'd take it.
Yeah. So. And we should, really, if we're not in the position. If we're in Premier League, it's a different kettle of fish. But you can go as high as you want. Look, Jack Grealish got sold for 100 million because they were in Premier League. But everybody's got a price, haven't they? O'Hare is a potential signing of the season, along with Moore, building a serious team. The chosen one knows who he wants and how he wants to play, something we lacked when he wasn't here. He's just a leader, isn't he? In shock, says David. Kevin says, keep an Ellen Hamer and we've cracked it. Jeff says, hi, Jimmy. It's good to see positive news at last. Onwards and upwards. What's going on with Ollie Mack? Nothing, mate, at the minute. He's not a Blades player. He's not on the books. He was training for us 1 or 2 days that I'm aware of. I've not heard of him training with us since. He's not on the books currently. Same as John Egan into Blade. And he's at the minute. The only caveat with Ollie McBurney was that we continue to talk to his representatives. That was in the original release list when he left. But again, does this Kiefer Moore signing change that? Probably, particularly if we're going one up top. Hi, Jimmy. 2 rate signings today. Very happy, Blade. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Like and subscribe. Thank you, Doug. Appreciate that, pal. Simon Gregory, Steve McDonald says, quite happy with the transfer business so far, Jimmy. Who else do we need now? We need a keeper as a priority, I think. We need somebody to cover in defence at right centre-back. If Bogle's going to go, I think we need a right-back. And we need to have a firm decision on how we're going to play with the quality midfielders that we've got. Because if you are going to play O'Hare wide or Hamer wide, then do you need a wide man on the other side, like a more traditional wide forward that complements the team a little bit more? Somebody that's going to get to byline and whip a cross in for Kiefer Moore, for example. We haven't had that for a long time. And Elgon to Wolves, 13 million. Not sure about that, Ben. Not sure about that, pal. Plymouth keeper's coming on Wednesday. Is this that Facebook source? I'll believe it when I hear it from a more reputable source, to be honest. And that's no slack. This kid may know what he's on about, but I can't start saying this is happening when it's just coming from one person on Facebook. Rate signings, these two. Yep, Moore might just be scoring a machine with O'Hare at the side, providing the ammo. All good. O'Hare's a cracking signing, says Gaza. Yes, he is, mate. We mean business if this is the type of players we're after, then happy days. Like and subscribe, up the Ramble. Thank you, Pixie. Thank you, pal. I mean, get these players in while we're contending, while there is a plan and the Messiah will deliver. O'Hare hinted, saying more signings to come. England done, and now can't wait to get back to the lane, up the Blades. 25 days, Dave Leary was saying. Unbelievable. Mr. Mountain said the other night the signings will start to come this week. Hopefully we get the home kit announced this week too, says Danny. Maybe, I know, to be honest, I've never been a kit man, but I don't want to completely dismiss everybody's. I don't think it's a major thing, the kit. I want it to look nice, obviously, but I'm not one that's like on tenterhooks waiting for kit to be announced. I get that some people are, though, so it's just a different point of view, really. So apologies if I don't give it much credence, but I'd rather get the squad sorted out. Go on, Dad.
What's going on? Can't get a word in edgeways.
Well, you want to be in bed soon, don't you? You have to go to bed early at your age.
He asked me to come on, and I bloody haven't said a word.
Do you want to read some of these out?
No, I'm not.
Have you got your glasses?
No, I'm only joking. Keep going. I just
Renegade. Renegade is the one that asked you the question, weren't it?
Oh yes, it was. It just takes me by surprise because I'm nodding off, and then you ask me a question, and I'm ready. Oh,
you're unbelievable. You're absolutely unbelievable. I don't know why I asked you on.
I've had a few hard days.
Have you? Yeah, I bet you have with that Guinness.
Yeah.
The way O'Hare was speaking, Gus Hamer was pestering him all week about when he's joining, suggesting that Gus is content to stay with. Yes, I think that's a good sign as well, to be fair.
Yeah, it is.
It's never a bad thing bringing in one of your best mates, is it? And El's not gone to Wolves, says Gaz. No, he hasn't. I know these are just rumours flying about now in chat. Not sure about the maths on the goals over a season. No, I'm not, Rob, either, to be fair, when I said it out loud. But never mind. We'll quickly move on. Mentioning Hamer in the interview will leave us with egg on our face if he goes. Not really. Not really. The plan is to keep him. And it always has been. And, can you imagine if we do? Imagine if that window slams shut.
I'll tell you what's been a good sign, Jim. I'll tell you what has been a good sign with these two signings with Hamer and Moore is that both of them are really heavily wanted by other teams. Obviously, Moore, we're going to go to Hull and O'Hare. There were quite a few teams after him. Leeds, one of them, and they've chosen us for not always just the money. I don't think. Obviously, money will have come into it, but I think it's been a really good sign that they've chosen us. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Still a big attraction to players. It's great to see it.
Must be, yeah, and they must have. Obviously they've whoever, obviously Chris Wilder, but probably some other people in the team as well, have sold the club very well about what we're going to do this year and what the plans are. They wouldn't just come and said, we don't know what we're going to do. We're going to buy you, but we don't know who else we're going to buy.
That's the thing. So O'Hare for probably 5-year contract as well. It's unreal commitment, isn't it, from club?
Yeah,
let's have it played, Jimmy. Go on.
No, go on.
No, I'll be talking over you when you've come on to talk.
There's still probably another 3 years on Amers in there as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there is.
So, yeah. Carry on, Jim.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Because we're 45 minutes behind the comments, which is ridiculous. There's so many people in here. Let's have it, Blades. Evening, Jimmy. Things are suddenly starting to look up the Blades, up the Ramble. Like and subscribe. What formation do you reckon we'll try? I think my dad weren't far off in the earlier comment with the 4-2-3-1 that we were looking at York, really. That's similar to what we played into it. Blaster O'Hare, Hamer midfield. I'll take that, says John. Now get a keeper and a defence. Yeah, fair comment. Where are the Wilder haters, says Nige. Where are they? I can't hear them. I can't hear them anywhere. Where are they? Saying he hasn't got a clue. Well, today proves you haters. No, I'm not. I'll let you that, Nige. I know. I'm not rising too much to it, but everybody knows where my loyalties lie in that debate. I don't have to keep banging the drum about it, but people did have a right go at me when I said that we're back because Chris Wilder's in charge. I have every faith that if you give him the tools, he will get us back up there. The question, the asterisk for Wilder for me, and this is just being fair on both sides of the argument, is can he prove it at Premier League level? I know he got us to 9th in an unbelievable season, but can he be a sustainable Premier League manager? Can he get us there and keep us there? That's the key, isn't it? So that's the test for me. I think in the Championship, there's not many better than Chris Wilder. It's just his signings when we get to Prem that concern me potentially.
We're not a Premiership club, though, Jim. That's the problem. We're not.
I know we're not.
Club. We could have Klopp or bloody Guardiola, and we'd still be struggling with our finances. On the size of the club and everything, we'd still be struggling in Premiership. So very harsh on Wilder. I mean, I love Wilder, but I was very critical of, and still am, of his buys when we got to Championship, when we got to Premiership, because I don't think he knows the Premiership that well.
That's him refusing to come on Ramble. Then thanks for that. after he said he will, but get wingers either side of him and more in front of him. His output will be massively boosted. Yeah, I think that might be the way we go, to be honest. Any news about the investigation about the consortium having a say in signings? Hope it doesn't lay a burden over the start, whether it be fines or deductions. Just wanted to settle the takeover and crack on. No further news, Cole. No breaches that we're aware of. Nothing to be concerned about in that regard. Yuri Nater says that he hadn't commented for a while, but I remember that name. What a couple of signings, Moore and O'Hare. Universe is saying yes. Big credit to Wilder for pulling these boys in. Go on, Big Andy. Big Andy. I'm not sure. That's...
been looking at guns.
Yeah, at the guns. Yeah, it's tickets to the gun show. I think Gus will stay now. O'Hare also said about Gus messaging him, asking when it's done, what's happening. He said how much he rated him. I'm looking forward to that. Andy the Blade. Love you, Andy. Oh, here we go. Sorry, we're rambling. Love it, Jimmy. Andy the Blade sounds like a DMC tribute.
Okay. DMC tribute? I don't even know DMC. Yeah, there's some rap band.
Run DMC.
Yeah.
Wilder's has not lost his negotiating skills. Have that, piggies, says Jamie. Love that. DMX tribute. Okay, right.
That's not far off.
Cooper on Wednesday, according to DC in Ramblers chat. The sources are getting stronger. The sources are getting stronger. DC's got a bit of credibility behind him. Harold Sheets is. Go on.
The only thing with Cooper, I just worry sometimes because you can't get this one wrong.
Don't listen.
Can you?
You know that this channel is watched widely. So if we want players, we don't talk them down. All right, we just pull them up.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. When you put all your eggs in one basket.
He's a long-time retired Prince Abdullah, if you're watching. So, Mike Cooper's the way to go.
Okay.
Jimmy, am I dreaming? What quality signings we can compete with Burnley and Leeds? Exciting times. Burnley's more of a modern, bigger club, I suppose. Wilder's still the guy. Never doubted him, says Jay Clear. Yeah, neither did I, mate. Credit to Wilder, who won't get it from some quarters for these lads. Credit to the... You were getting in bother?
No, she just come down to tell me she's going back up to bed.
All right, okay. Does Bev want to come on?
I just asked
Bev
her.
the Blade.
Yeah.
Credit to the Prince for sanctioning these signings, which won't be given by some quarters too. Now, give me more. All the Blades up the Ramble. Top man Billy. O'Hare feels a little like an Ndiaye replacement, and you can't compare him to that. He's setting the bar too high. Certainly the most like-for-like player we've got since Illiman. He's in that mold, isn't he? But
yeah. Harsh but true.
Tall standards to me. Nobody expects him to fill them boots. Rejected Villa and Champions League football for us. Says it all what we want to achieve this year. Who's rejected Villa and Champions League football for us?
Do you know? Shall I tell you? I've just thought. Do you know who would actually fit in if we played that three across the middle? Who'd play the right side?
Who?
Brooks.
Brooks would play on the right. As the right forward.
Bournemouth. I'm talking about Bournemouth.
Oh, you mean the original Brooks?
The original Brooks.
Yes. Oh, why are you trying to put names out there to put it cast into people's minds?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So David Brooks on the right, Callum O'Hare on the left.
The left.
Hamer in the middle in the 10.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Don't.
Brooks, actually, and I think we could get Brooks.
Dad, don't. There
you go.
I've got to go to bed. I've got to go to bed at some point.
But then we've got our blaster, and we do need somebody else as a bit of a. We need a bit of a Rodri.
It's Sousa, Dad, and I'm not saying it's my choice. I'm just saying while you've got a 12 to 14 million pound player in your squad, he's playing. Yeah. He's either playing for a move or he's playing to regain his form or whatever the reason we've purchased him for. It'll be Sousa. If we brought in a right winger, whether it's Brooks or whoever else, you play O'Hare to come in off the left, a bit like Brereton Diaz did, but in a different style.
Yeah.
Moore and then Hamer behind, and then it's Arblaster and Vinny sitting, I think, a
To be
little
honest,
bit, with Arblaster going a little bit.
To be honest, if we hadn't seen how Sousa had played last year, you'd think that were a terrific front and midfield.
Yeah,
it's just that we saw how Sousa had played, because you want, ideally in that defensive two in midfield, you want a big midfielder who can break things up and win headers and win tackles. It's just I don't think he's that good.
I know. I'm going to have to speed up because we're never going to catch up on comments. So I'm going to jump ahead of some, and I apologise for that. But so many comments, and I really appreciate it. But Nick says, "Is it any relation?"
Don't jump ahead of any that says Andy Blue Blades. Quite.
Yeah, I know. I'm skipping past all of them. He's saying, "Is John O'Hare any relation to Captain Bucky O'Hare?" I'm not into. That's one that you won't get as well. To be fair, John O'Hare, says Ben, is well into his 70s.
Well, yeah.
Well, he must have been very active at 50.
What I just said, it's his. How do you mean?
Dad. You said it's his
Might
dad.
be his no, it's his dad. It is his dad. He says it's his dad. I'm sure it's his dad. Well, it's a good relation anyway. It might be his granddad. Anyway, I think it's still impressive that is his relation, because he was a really good player. If I remember correctly, he was a big bustling centre forward.
All right. Yeah. Mark says John O'Hare was a big part of the Forest team that won the European Cup. There you go. Like and subscribe to the Renegades.
A lot of the Forest, a lot of the Derby players went to Forest, didn't they? After when Clough went over.
Yeah, they did. Fantastic signings, but a lot of work to do before we're done. Yeah, I agree with that. We have to try and hold on to Bogle. I think he'll be massive, but the problem is the fact that if we don't cash in on him now, then he could leave for now. That's exactly the dilemma, Ollie. That's exactly the dilemma that we're in. And some will think we should sell, and some will think we should keep, and you're not going to please everybody. Great signings, says Stephen, today. Let's get Cooper and Worrell in, and what a window so far. Do you know, if we got Cooper and Worrell, Dad, would you close the door on the transfer window and say, done, we don't need anybody else?
Absolutely not, no.
All right, okay.
Oh, you mean not counting loans?
Oh, yeah, not counting loans, yeah. Well, I suppose, yeah. But where else if we get Worrell...
We're still light, aren't we? We've still got a lot of youngsters playing. Yeah, we still need backup at centre forward and striker and things like that. And we need a right winger. We need Brooks in as well, don't we?
Man Mountain says, well. In the words of Fabrizio, here we go, Bladesmen. 2 of the 7 in the bag. Fabulous signings at the level. 7, I think that's what Man Mountain predicted. We'd be going for 7. I'm not so sure. Well, maybe with 5 loans, it'll be net 7, which we were talking about the other day. Interesting. I'd like Morgan Whittaker, says Slits. Now, Morgan Whittaker fits nicely on that right-hand side, Dad.
He does, yeah, he does. But everybody were thinking he was going to go Premiership, didn't they? Or certainly for a lot of money, and he's not gone anywhere.
Same with O'Hare, though, weren't it? They thought he was Premier League bound.
Yeah.
And it's just not happened. Darren Smith suggesting 60 minutes of Moore, 30 minutes of Ollie Mack. I don't know what that's. I hadn't read Darren's.
Well, 30 minutes coming on sub, or does that mean Ollie Mack can only last 30 minutes?
Yeah, possibly. I don't know. I don't think they're similar players. People put them together as like a similar height, and you just assume that they're the same player. What?
Don't lead me into anything. I'm not saying anything about Ollie Mack tonight.
No, go on. No,
what's
the difference? What's the difference between them? You tell me what the difference is.
I'm not saying anything. The different type of players. Listen, I'm not saying.
You went viral last time.
I know, and I'm not saying anything about this time. Because what I was going to say was just what I would say when I'm having a joke in the pub. Do you know what I mean? And being outrageous, but it's not really true.
Okay. You just don't want his dad coming looking for you, do you? If we potentially keep Ollie Mack and he re-signs in games, we need to smash defences. We can play both Moore and Ollie Mack and fetch on a quick striker to finish teams off.
What?
I'm not convinced.
Ollie Mack and Keep them all together.
I'm not convinced. Sell Bogle and get Hoover over from Wolves.
Hoover over from Wolves. Yeah.
Man Mountain agrees with you, Dad. Get that fee for Bogle. Sign a proper right back for 4 at the back. He's a midfielder, wing back, not a right back for me.
Mr. Mountain knows what he's talking about.
He does. He does. Kev O'Connell says, my prediction, if we go up this season, Walker and Maguire will finish their career at the Lane. Bloody hell, Kev. Let's get there first.
I'll tell you what.
Agree.
You know, everybody talks about Walker coming back here. Last season, I mentioned it to you. I could see Harry Maguire coming back to us as a centre half. I could.
We couldn't afford his right leg.
Well, when your
depends how much
contract
he wants it. It depends how much he wants.
And when your contract runs out, your wages are nothing.
I know, but he'll get a strong deal in the Premier League. Whereas I think Kyle would come.
I think
at a reduced rate.
I think it might surprise you. I think Harry Maguire might. And I'll tell you something else. I'd have Harry Maguire in front of. No, I won't. I don't know.
Bob Dyson in the chat, chair of the fan advisory board. Thanks for joining us, pal.
Oh.
The Wilder effect back to his wheeling and dealing best. I have to say as well, something I were gonna, if I'd have jumped on the Ramble a day or two ago, people, myself included, have strongly criticised the lack of communication from the club as a whole. Not necessarily just about the takeover, but as a whole, because I don't think there's an awful lot they can talk about on the takeover. But he did send an email to Bob and other members of the FAB, the fan advisory board, and Stephen Bettis has communicated quite strongly and sort of said that, answered a few questions that fans might be interested to hear. I maybe talk about that on a future Ramble, but I know it's circulating around social media. So if you can find Bob's Twitter or someone else's online, I'll try and repost it myself if I remember after this. Stephen Bettis has responded to the fan advisory board. They have communicated that out to the fan base in different places. And it's better. It's better. It's an improvement on trying to communicate with fans. And I appreciate it for one. Agree with Andy the Blade. Leeds fans are in meltdown, says Dave Morwood. We love it. You love to see it, don't you? You absolutely love to see it. The builder recruitment team was vital, says Bob. Absolutely it was. And it was strange because it looked for a while that everybody were going to come in with Wilder and then we were going to go in a completely different direction after just bringing in a new recruitment team. Hopefully things appear now to have settled and it's really positive, particularly with these 2 signings coming in. Evening, Jim. Good to see your old man looking well. Still have concerns, but seeing we've taken a couple of steps forward. Let's hope last couple of days it's the start of a positive couple of weeks. Absolutely right. I think Benjamin Bloom needs to make a new video about us. Absolutely right, he does, Kyle. Benjamin Bloom, Dad, friend of the channel. You might not have seen it because you were away boozing. Sheffield United in crisis, his latest video.
I saw the headline, actually.
Yeah, I haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it. I thought we were mates, but we're clearly not. I hope Hamer stays. I think he will. 2 great signings up the Blades, up the Ramble, says Josh. Has they died it? Dad, have a word. Chris, I'm reading it out because you're a Rambler, pal, and it's a privilege that you've earned. But it's not. What's this, Mark? Tip for Jimmy, Grecian 2000. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Look at your phone, Jim, says Ollie. I can't look at my phone. I ain't got time to read these messages. Bayer, our couple of signings can change the mood of a fan base, says Devon Blade. Have you dyed too? Oh. Up the Blades, up the right. No, I haven't dyed my hair. Who would dye it grey at the sides? Ridiculous. This is you. This is you. It's normally a respectful bunch, and you've just released the wild. Up the Blades, up the Ramble.
While there's a little gap, just while I think about it, I did like the O'Hare signing video with sunglasses. The teaser.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it?
I thought they were really good. Yeah.
It was good.
I did.
You know, John O'Hare, before your time, I remember John O'Hare, who was in the 77-78 Panini sticker book playing for Nottingham Forest.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, I don't mean really before my time. That's because obviously I remember him, but it were in like when I was like young watching football before.
Yeah.
That's
He is an old dad, though, isn't he? He's an old dad.
Oh, so you're admitting that he is his dad now? Then?
No, that's what I'm saying. He's definitely not his dad. He's more likely to be great granddad than he is dad.
We talk ridiculous.
Hi, Jimmy. I agree with you. The squad first, shirts second, up the blades, up the right. It's not that I'm not bothered about shirts, Rich, and I don't mean to dismiss anybody that does, because there's a lot of collectors there's a lot of people that want to buy them for the kids and take them on holiday. I get all that. It's just I'm not in that position. I'm not crying out for shirts, so I love news like this. Joe says, I've just sent you that Facebook rumours about Cooper on X, mate. Stuff about Grimes and Burrows on it as well. Yeah, they've both been. Obviously, we know the Burrows thing, and Grimes has been linked on it, pressing last couple of days. Andy the Blade, walk this way. Local news saying Cooper gone by end of this week, but no more than that. Like and subscribe. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, up the Blades, up the Ramble. Says Stephen. Love this. Up the Blades. David Brooks, nutmegging Hunt. Absolutely right. We all remember that well.
I do, yeah.
We all remember that well. Has the Ramble had a takeover? No kitchen for you, Jimmy, and Andy's internet has had an upgrade. Absolutely. We're pros. We're pros. That's it now. That's it. We've made it. We've made it. Oh, yeah. Sell Bogle, buy Diaz, and play Sariki. I said in chat tonight, there's... that's Darren Smith, by the way, that were giving us some stick about the Ramble ever. No kitchen for me. Yeah, absolutely right. I said in chat earlier about this comment, buy Diaz. We've more chance of Cameron Diaz, haven't we, coming back than Ben Brereton. There is no chance he comes back to the Championship. And I don't think we'd pay it now either, to be honest. I don't know what your thoughts are.
So here's an upgrade on Diaz.
Oh!
There you go. Yes, I said it. Yes, I said it.
Wait a second. Wait.
Yeah. Yes, I said it.
Yes, Clarky, I've been dying to use that for ages. So thank you very much, pal. Cooper's agreed to come to Blades on his way on Wednesday for a medical. I tell you what, this Facebook kid is raking it in, isn't he, in terms of some of the hooks that he's got from this post. I'd love it to be true. I don't want to discredit it because I don't know where the original news has come from. It's not something I've heard. Certainly not far down the line, anyway. I would love it. I just can't see it at the minute, to be honest.
You know what's really weird, and I don't really want to sort of like give you too much bloody credit for all this, Jim. But obviously, you know, I'm very proud of what you've done with your Ramble, stuff like that.
Clip, thank you. Yeah,
I am. It's amazing the stuff that we talk about now about players, the different players that we mention and we push, and they get. And the next thing you know, they're mentioned by Sheffield United. It's like,
well, that's the only danger, isn't it? Because, and it's not a danger; it's brilliant.
I don't know whether it's just coincidence or what it is.
Well, the thing is, Dad, I love you mentioned first off like Lewis O'Brien and Joe Worrell, and then all of a sudden, Sheffield United are linked to Lewis. What I don't want it to be is that we are starting the rumours that it's going to happen.
No,
because that's not what the context in which we've said it.
No.
We would, if we had a choice of who we would bring to fit our position and our club that we need, these are the players we love. And like you said, then from that, if a true link comes later down the line, you don't know whether it's coincidence or what. But it is amazing, isn't it? How many times, like Archer, the Archer thing were unbelievable.
Yeah,
and I know it didn't work out.
Yeah, well, it did to an extent. I mean, I know you get some stick from one particular lad on the Ramble thing, but I think he's only messing about. But I know he is, but it's like he didn't have a great chance, did he? In the team that we had,
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so.
And I think he could still do it, although it could well have affected his confidence, the season that we had last year, because it was a shocker.
There's a player in there. There's definitely a player in there. I think he's much better in a 2. I think being played up front on his own don't do him any favours, particularly in Premier League where you're chasing shadows all the time. It were played out on left under Eki an awful lot. It just
tell you what though, you won't buy him. You won't buy him for 16 million now, would you?
Well, if I had 16 million, I might.
No, you won't. No, you won't.
Get him on loan. Do you think the lack of communication? Do you think a lack of communication has helped these signings get over the line? A lot of meltdowns on social, but a day like today is a sign that the leaks kill us. Great point, Joe. Great point. And that's the thing. I think that I'm not critical of the club not releasing names that we're interested in or anything like that. I just think there's other things that, like, the fans don't really know what's happening with pre-season tour, for example, so abroad, or if it's even happening now. So it'd be nice to be able to release some of that information early so fans can plan. It'd be nice to have an idea of when the kit release will come in, because that doesn't affect any other club or sort of, if there are people in the fan base, as we know, that wait on these announcements. It'd be nice to be able to get stuff like that in order. We'll know that the kit release is released in third week of July. You can get everything sorted for then, blah, blah. I just think a little bit more structure in the way that we communicate things, that's all. I certainly don't want us to be saying Callum O'Hare's booked in for a medical on Monday or anything like that, because nobody would do that. That's ridiculous to do as a club. It's just the overall communication. And like we've said, and Bob's been in the chat tonight, they are working on that with the fan advisory board. Fan advisory board didn't want me in, but you know, that's another story else. But it's good. Yeah. They'd never got a word in edgeways, would they, Dan?
No, they wouldn't. No, ask me on and I never get a word in.
But it's a great point, Joe. It's a great point, mate.
But the other thing is as well, when because you do put some stuff out after you've spoken to the Prince and whatever. I know you have to weigh up very carefully. You know what you're told. You know what you can.
You can't share an awful lot, because otherwise it jeopardizes.
You don't. But even the stuff that you do share, Jim, you have to have a lot of trust with your Ramblers. You know, for them not to say anything. Because I noticed you put something in the other day. You know, remember not to sort of like share it too much.
You can't share it widely. You can't.
No.
You can't do it because it doesn't help anybody. You know, exactly. So I will say, like,
so that's good, but that's good. That's what I'm saying. It's good.
Yeah, but don't, like, if a rumour's online and it's heavily hinted at, and I'll say, look, we can't get too bothered about this because there is a plan in the works if this happens or something like that. Because if there are people on X that will go, oh, this club's an absolute shambles, and it's similar to what Darren does online. And I tend to, if I'm honest, I take a bit of a steer from Darren. And if Darren quotes something or he answers something in relation to something that someone said about it, it's the green light for me to say, Darren's mentioned it. I can confirm it with Ramblers, and I can say this, that, and other, because
you should really send Darren a bit of a cut, shouldn't you? Really, of your Ramblers fees. To be honest, you should. I hope you're listening, Darren.
No, Jesus Christ. Hang on. How do I mute you? Look, you get him. Hang on. More of a love in here from Jonathan. Love your dad, Jimmy. The banter between you both makes this channel a great watch. The signings today make my day. After we think we're going down, and now I'm looking forward to the derby game. Oh, looking forward to the derby games. I'm not sure about that, pal.
Mate, I am.
Sure. You are?
I am. I always do.
Yeah, no, you're not right, though, are you? You're not right with that. That's how can you look forward? Right. Honestly, I
love them. I love the derby games. I love them.
Yeah. Till we get stuffed at Bramall Lane, and then how will you be?
We've got to have faith, and we won't do. I remember when we played Leicester away at Leicester for us to go up. And I'm pretty sure on this that Wednesday, it was between Wednesday and Luton who went down, right? So from the what we'll call the Premier League, it was the first division, I think, at that side. So we were going up, they were going down, and all blades around me all wanted Wednesday to lose so that they would go down. And I did in a way because I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, hold on a minute. Who do I want to play next year? Do I want to bloody go home and away to Luton, or do I want to play Wednesday? And I wanted to play Wednesday home and away. So
Yeah.
I know I'm probably different to quite a few Blades because I certainly was that day.
There's people in our chat and our following that are exactly the same, but I think you are the minority, if I'm honest. I think it's just
I think you're right. I probably think you're right, but I've always thought that. I've always preferred a derby.
Awful. Absolutely awful. The Wendy's are shaking in their trotters, says Mr. V. What else have we got? I think we should keep Bogle, says Stephen. Maybe when next owners come in, they might offer him a bit more than the club can currently. Maybe. Jed Spence on loan to replace Bogle. No thanks.
I won't have Jed Spence anywhere near the chuffing club after how he was at Forest. Jesus.
No chance. Not for me.
Sometimes, as you know, I cut my nose off to spite my face because he might be the greatest bloody fullback in the world. I still wouldn't have him anywhere near my club. So there you go.
I'm the same, Dad. I'm the same. You've got to have a line somewhere, don't you?
But yeah.
Hi, Jimmy. Would Liam Miller work in the 3 switching wings in games with O'Hare? Top sure, pal.
Yeah, I think he would. Yes, I think he would. Not as good as Brooks, but I think he would.
If David Brooks gets linked to Holly...
And Philogene would.
Yeah, it would, yeah. Good shout, that. I wonder what's happened to him. If David Brooks gets linked, PA is a subscriber. Prince Abdullah is a subscriber to the Ramble. I can confirm that's a Ramble exclusive. Good evening, Prince Abdullah. Only 130 likes on a night like tonight is criminal, says Joe. Thank you, Joe. You're absolutely right, pal. Thank you. If you can just stick a like on, it does spread us further and wider than usual. Got a feeling Wilder's going to get fans on side again with fast attacking play, loads of crosses, loads of goals. Let the handbrake off, says Sportsman Blade. That's what we're after, isn't it? That's what we want. We love that. Absolutely love it. Craig says, hi, pal. Hope you're okay. I got start from the start, lol. You got to see us from the start. I think that probably means see you soon. Thank you, pal. Really appreciate it. Hope you're well. Mark says, Pigs lost to Forest that day at Leicester. Brilliant day. That day that you were on about, Dad.
Oh, yeah, Leicester. The Leicester day.
It was great.
One of the best away games I've ever been to, that. Beat Leicester 5-2.
What's said on the Ramble stays on the Ramble, says David. Absolutely right. Nobody else gets to see this. Craig, thank you so much, pal, for your super chat. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, Jim.
Yeah.
What time do we start eating on Ramble these days? Don't we have a break for Sunday dinner or something like that now? Oh, fish and chips.
That were on Jimmy Ramble channel. That were on Jimmy Ramble when we're doing a watch along.
It's a disgrace, by the way.
3-hour watch along. And actually, if we're going to go there, you were on the Jimmy Ramble channel for a watch along, and you had pizza on the watch along.
No, I didn't.
Yes.
No.
Yes. That is what you call a faux pas. A faux pas.
There were nobody watching when I were on. You had 3 viewers.
Yeah, nobody watched that channel. Even Andy the Blade couldn't pull the viewers in. Oh, never mind. Unbelievable. Andy the Blade, ole. Andy the Blade, ole. Oh, dearie me. That's going to start. It's like when we went on holiday and them lads started singing, Daddy, cool. And you're dancing in the street because all these young lads are thinking you're cool. Anyway, I reckon United should sign Andy and Jimmy as scouts. Go on, I'll let you say it.
No, I'm not. What do you want me to say?
That only one of us have worked in Premier League or whatever it is.
No, I'm not saying that. No, you come up with good. To be honest, Jim, I have to give you some credit really with like these midfielder selections that you have. When you're picking about 15, I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, where's he getting all these from?
There'll be 3 on next one. I'm telling you. I promise you, there'll be 3. There'll be 3 next striker video because it's too thin to pick from now. You can't.
What I used to like to do, even though I stopped scouting when I was watching United, in fact that's how I picked O'Hare out. Each team that we played, I picked a player out that I thought would be really good for our team. So yeah. I just used to do that. The only problem with that is that you tended to always notice like the flair players, like your Hamers and O'Hares and those sort of people. Your Chairs, Ilias Chair, and those sort of people. So you tended not to notice the right back or whatever. So
the holding midfielder. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yes, they did. Andy the Blade. I was Leicester that day, and it was the best day ever. Andy, I was there too. Darlington as well.
Yeah.
Hi, Jimmy says, Wayne, exciting times. What a midfield for the Blades. Up the Ramble. Thank you, pal. Is Dozy a subscriber? I'm with Andy. Bring on the derby. Oh, I don't know if Dozy's a subscriber or not. Darren Smith finishes us off tonight saying, I'm thinking Prince Abdullah would be signing all of your suggestions if Archer had not crashed and burned. Wow. Thanks, Darren. Thanks. That's half a compliment. It's one of them give with one and slap with the other, isn't it? On that. There's a player in Archer.
And Archer I wouldn't say crashed and burned. He didn't fulfill his potential, but I don't think he crashed and burned. I mean, I still remember that goal he scored. Were it against? Who were it against? When he broke through on and smacked it in from about 25 yards.
Were it Wolves?
Yeah, can't remember now.
Everton? I'm not sure.
No,
it doesn't matter now because I've forgotten that season already. So, Dad, just to let you in behind the curtain a little bit, because you always go off when I do this, and it's somebody else did it the other day. I'm going to end the show. I'm going to say bye to everybody. I'm going to stop recording. Don't leave. I'll actually speak to you afterwards if you stay on. All right? That's the.
Okay. All right.
All right. So
technology, Jim. I've no idea.
I know. Just don't press anything. You're fine.
Right.
I'll sort it. I'll take it from here. Have you any last words you want to say on Callum O'Hare and Kiefer Moore signing for the Blades? Does it change the whole outlook of our season next year?
Absolutely. We do need more, but absolutely changes the outlook. So I've just got to follow on with this and we need, like you said, even with Sousa, like you said, I would be happy with Sousa and Arblaster, get Brooks in on right side, and that's our front. There's only then our back four and keeper to sort out. So you only need a centre half and a keeper. So there you go.
Yeah.
So the last thing I'll say is, as usual, up the Blades and up the Ramble.
You've ruined it. You've gone too early. You've gone too early.
I've done it now. I can go and get me fish and chips. No, I'm not having any.
Is that what you're waiting on?
No, not getting
all right, okay.
I've got my packing tools for tomorrow.
All right, I'm sorry to have taken so much of your time. But for now, thank you to everybody that's joined us. It's absolutely unreal. You are going. Hang on. Let me wrap up. There's still 400 odd people in here. Right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. As always, come on, you red and white wizards. Go on, Dad.
Up the Blades.